If you're over 65 and can still do these 8 things, you're not just aging, you're thriving. And here's the surprising part. Most seniors can't even do half of them. These are rare physical and mental traits that doctors say dramatically boost your odds of living to 90, 95, even 100. So if you're watching this, take it as a personal challenge. How many can you still do? Some of them seem simple until you try. And I promise, number 7 will shock you. Let's begin with something so basic. Yet most people over 65 quietly give it up. Habit number 1. You can walk a mile without stopping. Walking a mile without stopping might seem like a small thing, but for seniors aged 65 to 80, it's one of the clearest signs that your heart, lungs, and muscles are all still working in harmony. And here's why that matters. Studies show that older adults who can walk at least 1 mile without stopping have a significantly lower risk of cardiovascular disease, stroke, and even premature death. In fact, research from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that walking speed and endurance were strong predictors of life expectancy in older adults. Walking is more than just exercise. It's a powerful indicator of independence. Seniors who lose the ability to walk longer distances often begin to lose access to the world around them. Daily tasks become harder, social isolation increases, and the risk of falling, becoming sedentary, or developing chronic illnesses starts to climb rapidly. On the flip side, walking regularly helps boost blood circulation, improve joint flexibility, preserve muscle mass, reduce the risk of cognitive decline, and even improve mood by releasing natural endorphins. If you're still able to walk a mile without stopping, it means you're maintaining a level of cardiovascular fitness, strength, and stamina that many in your age group no longer can. It's not just about distance, it's about what your body is still capable of. And that ability is a strong sign that your path to 90, or even 100, is wide open. But what if I told you there's a simple 10-second test that could silently predict your risk of falling, injury, and even early death? Let's move to habit number 2, and this one reveals a lot more than you'd expect. Habit number 2. You can stand on one leg for 10 seconds. This might sound easy, but try it. Right now, stand up and balance on one leg for 10 full seconds. Could you do it? If yes, congratulations. You just passed a test that researchers now consider a surprising lifespan predictor. A 2022 study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that adults over 50 who couldn't balance on one leg for 10 seconds had nearly double the risk of dying within the next decade compared to those who could. So why is balance such a big deal? Because it's not just about avoiding falls, though that's critically important. Good balance reflects the overall coordination between your muscles, joints, nervous system, and even brain. And this coordination tends to decline with age, especially if you're not staying active. Being able to stand on one leg means your core and leg muscles are still strong, your nervous system is firing properly, and your reflexes are sharp enough to stabilize you, even on uneven ground. Seniors with poor balance often avoid activities like hiking, biking, or even grocery shopping, not because they can't walk, but because they're afraid of falling. That fear shrinks their world and reduces mobility even faster. But if you can still stand on one leg for 10 seconds without swaying, grabbing a chair, or putting your foot down, your body is telling you something powerful. You're not done. You're still sharp, you're still strong, and you're aging on your own terms. But strength isn't just about balance. It's also about power. Because if you can do this next thing and without using your hands, you're ahead of most people your age. Habit number 3. You can get up from a chair without using your hands. This one may look simple, but it says everything about your physical independence. Being able to rise from a chair without using your hands means your leg muscles, core, and joint mobility are still working together smoothly. And that's rare. Studies show that more than 40% of adults over 65 struggle with this movement, and that number only increases with age. Why does this matter? Because this one action, standing up unaided, is a strong predictor of mobility and independence, lower risk of falls, and even lower risk of death. In fact, a large Brazilian study found that seniors who couldn't rise from a seated position without assistance were 5 to 6 times more likely to die over the next 6 years. And here's the truth. Once you start relying on your arms, a walker, or nearby furniture to get up, it signals muscle weakening, especially in your quads and glutes. These are the muscles responsible for getting out of bed, climbing stairs, using the bathroom safely, and avoiding dangerous falls. It's not just about strength, it's about freedom. Your ability to stand tall on your own terms reflects the foundation of healthy aging. So, if you can still rise smoothly from a chair with just your legs, you're in an elite category of seniors whose future is still full of possibilities. Of course, aging well isn't only physical, because while your legs get you places, your mind is what keeps you in the game. So let's talk about a powerful sign your brain is still sharp. That's next in habit. Habit number 4. You can remember recent events and conversations clearly. If your memory is still sharp, you're not just lucky, you're exceptional. That's because after 65, mild memory lapses become common. But when you can recall names, conversations, and what you ate for breakfast yesterday, it means your cognitive health is firing on all cylinders, and that's more important than ever. A 2022 study published in JAMA Neurology found that seniors with early memory decline had double the risk of developing dementia within 5 years. On the flip side, those who remained mentally active and alert were significantly more likely to live independently into their 90s. Strong memory isn't just about trivia or chit-chat. It reflects healthy brain blood flow, ongoing neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, and low inflammation in the brain. In other words, your brain isn't shrinking, it's staying sharp. The truth? If you're still actively remembering and processing daily life with clarity, you're not just aging, you're aging successfully. Whether it's solving puzzles, reading books, or engaging in thoughtful conversation, keeping your mind stimulated protects your future more than any supplement ever could. So, you've got the mental edge. But let's talk about something more physical again. If you can still do this without gasping for breath, your heart, lungs, and legs are aging like a champion. Let's move to next habit. Habit number 5. You can climb a flight of stairs without feeling exhausted. Here's a simple test. Can you walk up one flight of stairs without leaning on the railing, gasping for air, or needing to pause? If the answer is yes, you're not just doing fine. You're outperforming a huge percentage of seniors. In fact, a European study published in the BMJ found that people over 70 who could climb stairs without assistance had a 3-fold higher chance of living another 10 years independently. Because stair climbing is one of the most demanding daily movements. It challenges your heart and lungs. It works your quads, glutes, calves, and core. It requires balance, joint flexibility, and coordination. Seniors who avoid stairs often do so not because of pain alone, but because of underlying cardiovascular weakness or muscle deterioration. This kind of avoidance signals declining health and leads to faster loss of independence. But if you still take the stairs with confidence, it means your heart is pumping strong, your leg muscles are maintaining mass, your joints are staying mobile. That's more than convenience. That's a signal of long-term vitality. So the next time you carry groceries upstairs or choose the stairs over the elevator, know this: you're training for a longer, healthier life. And speaking of groceries, if you're still able to carry heavy bags from the store without needing help, your body is telling you something very important. Let's break down 6th habit. Habit number 6. You can carry groceries without assistance. Carrying groceries may seem like an ordinary task, but for those over 65, it's a powerful indicator of physical resilience. If you're still able to lift and carry your own shopping bags without strain, you're doing better than most. Grip strength, which is required to carry those bags, is more than just a measure of hand power. It's directly linked to longevity. Multiple studies, including one published in The Lancet, have shown that seniors with stronger grip strength live longer and experience fewer chronic health issues. Why is this so significant? Because carrying weight requires upper body strength, core stability, functional joint health, neuromuscular coordination. Losing the ability to perform this basic task often marks the beginning of dependency. Seniors who can no longer carry groceries tend to rely more on others for routine activities, which can quietly erode both confidence and independence. On the other hand, if you're still managing those shopping bags yourself, it means your muscles are still working efficiently. Your joints and tendons are holding strong. Your body hasn't surrendered to frailty. It's not just about muscle. It's about maintaining self-sufficiency and the freedom to live on your own terms. But there's one test that goes even deeper, one that challenges your strength, mobility, and flexibility all at once. Can you still get down on the floor and back up without help? Let's take a look. Habit number 7. You can get down on the floor and back up easily. This one may surprise you, but it's one of the strongest signs of aging well. The ability to get down on the floor and rise again without using support reflects your body's total coordination, joint health, muscle strength, balance, and flexibility. In fact, a large-scale Brazilian study found that people over 60 who could perform this task unassisted were 5 to 6 times less likely to die in the following 6 years compared to those who struggled with it. Why is this so crucial? Because this movement mimics real-life situations, like tying your shoes, reaching under furniture, or recovering from a fall. And here's what it tells us. Your knees and hips are still functioning smoothly. Your core and leg muscles are strong enough to lift your body weight. You haven't lost the proprioception, your body's awareness of movement and position, needed for safe, coordinated movement. Those who can't get up from the floor often find themselves at higher risk of injury, immobility, or even long-term care. But if you can still do this, you're in excellent condition, and more importantly, you're still in control of your body and your future. But even with a strong body, longevity isn't just about physical ability. There's one final trait that might matter just as much, if not more. Let's talk about the power of your social life. Habit number 8. You maintain a positive and engaged social life. Longevity isn't just about strength or stamina. It's about connection. Studies from Harvard, the CDC, and numerous health organizations have confirmed that social isolation can be as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how powerfully your emotional health influences your physical body. If you still maintain friendships, enjoy conversations, and participate in social or community activities, you're doing more than staying busy. You're protecting your heart, brain, and immune system. Socially active seniors have lower risks of depression and cognitive decline, experience fewer hospitalizations, tend to be more physically active and mentally alert, and they simply report greater life satisfaction. Because meaningful relationships release oxytocin and reduce stress hormones like cortisol. They keep your mind sharp through conversation and your routines lively through shared activities. So, if you're still meeting friends, calling loved ones, or chatting with neighbors, congratulations! You're building resilience and adding years to your life in one of the most enjoyable ways possible. Now, let's quickly go over the 8 habits and see how many of them you still have. Let's see where you stand. These 8 habits are signs of exceptional aging, physical strength, cognitive sharpness, and emotional well-being, all wrapped into daily life. Walking a mile without stopping shows cardiovascular health and independence. Standing on one leg for 10 seconds indicates balance, coordination, and joint strength. Getting up from a chair without using your hands, a sign of muscle strength and mobility. Remembering recent events clearly, reflects brain health and mental agility. Climbing a flight of stairs without exhaustion, demonstrates heart and lung efficiency. Carrying groceries without help, reveals strength, endurance, and self-sufficiency. Getting down and up from the floor easily, proves flexibility and functional movement. Staying socially active, protects your mind, heart, and emotional resilience. If you're over 65 and still doing most of these 8 things, you're not just in good shape, you're exceptional. You're part of the 1 in 100. These habits aren't just physical skills, they're markers of independence, longevity, and life quality. But even if you're struggling with a few of them, don't feel discouraged. Aging well is a journey, and every step counts. You can regain strength, you can rebuild balance, and yes, you can still thrive. Because successful aging isn't only about movement, it's also about what you eat, how you think, and how you live. Eat a nutrient-rich diet filled with whole foods, healthy fats, and clean protein. Stay mentally engaged. Read, learn, challenge your mind daily. Keep your social life alive, call a friend, join a group, volunteer, and never stop moving. Your legs, your body, your life all depend on it. Now, we want to hear from you. How many of these 8 habits do you still have? Drop your number in the comments, and if one of them has gotten harder lately, tell us which one you're going to work on. Let's inspire each other, subscribe, turn on notifications, and stick with us. Because the next chapter of your life, it might just be the strongest, happiest, and healthiest one yet.